And remember how we were doing and then alternating? And I said it's walking me across the room. You see? And so back at that point in time, we decided we would come here, stay on the same side, so that we don't go across the room. But what that does is it makes us go, over here's a new center, and over here's our center. So this is the same idea. When we go like this, we're not on that center anymore.
Okay.
That's where we are with this. That's why she's going around the center and dropping straight down. Which is why you get to pause.
Right.
Then it makes you stay center.
So,
that's where we're at.
again, are we in the process of trying to keep center when it's maybe hurts the technique because you stop?
We have found that it actually doesn't hurt the technique.
Okay.
It really doesn't. In fact, it makes the technique a little bit more powerful. The same way if you're going to do Kokyo. You draw somebody down in Kokyo and you bring them back up. There's that changing in direction. Our pause actually is that change in direction from going like this to going down. And so we actually get a more effective weight underside if we do that pause and drop. Our weight underside actually goes down instead of around. See what I mean? So we actually are happy and comfortable with changing it to going straight up, straight down with the knee because it's been a good, it has worked well. But I figured you would see that. We talked about it before Alana got here before you did. What do you guys think?
Well, I think that's interesting to just put those little squares down there and then move. Like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
somebody moved the square.
Yeah.
And you realize the movement, even though it felt right,
Great.
it wasn't right.
A lot of what we drill ourselves on in JiShin drills us to keep our foot on a center instead of keeping our center on the center. So we're kind of figuring that out right now. Having Alana at the rank that she's at right now has really made us work on that. Because she's hitting color belt requirements that she has to stay on center. She's hitting second and third degree joint locking requirements that make you stay on center. And it kind of occurred to us, wait a minute, every time we do this kind of thing, our center actually goes in a circle over around our foot. See what I mean? The center is actually out here, going around.
So what you're really doing is wrapping yourself around your center.
Kind of.
Centripetal in a sense.
Yeah.
What about you're twisting your way out of place?
What about this? If this is my center, and I come up, and I'm using my foot as my center, but I come around,
Yeah.
and then I just lift the other foot as I come down to just let my center drop in that area.
Well, good point, because here's what Alana and I want to fix next, and we're working on right now, is this drill.
Right.
This is all wrong, right? At best, I can be, my foot can come down on the same spot, but my center is here and over there. So what we've been talking about is be on center and drop on center, just like you just said. So that might actually change a lot of how we teach it. Because you and I are doing that in our third degree throws. We're doing that, but the drill doesn't do that.
So the exercise is wrong.
Yeah,
Well,
the
the
exercise.
exercise, originally, your foot never went down. So you went here. So you'd actually, you start with here, and you go.
Yeah.
So your foot never actually, so you kept that center, and then you rotated, not into back into a lunge.
That's probably right, yeah. I forgot about that.
So you changed what I taught you. My original teaching was right.
Wait a minute, I think Mitch brought that one in.
Oh,
It's actually
yeah,
his original.
that's great minds think alike.
But anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm glad that we've got Alana at the rank she is because we are re-examining
Well,
this
that's
stuff.
helping you actually watch this
Yeah.
progression again
Yeah.
and seeing it and think, wait a minute, and then thinking about the principles and how you can stay on center. A simple thing like two little squares,
Right.
actually helps you realize.
And that's what we do every single workout. And that's Stephanie's square over there, and that's Alana's square over there, and they start on them. And then that's how we know if we're on our own center and on their center.
And that's neat, because that's such a simple way to see whether you're really moving right or not. I mean,
Yeah.
then you've had JiShin now since what, 95 or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're just now realizing, wait a minute, I think we're doing it wrong.
What's interesting is for the most part we've been doing it right. but we've got drills that are trying to drill us to do it wrong, so we gotta fix some of those. You know.
When it came down to actually doing technique, to get the technique, especially at third degree level, you can't do it wrong.
Right.
And get the technique.
That's right.
But we weren't seeing that what we were, well, I never really did much, but what you guys are doing at third degree level wasn't the same thing you were doing in the drill. The practice that led you up to that level.
That's right.
Because mine, third degree, I don't typically drop back. I typically split. I don't know if that's what you want or not, but
Are
like
you talking about during throws or during the drill?
the joint locks, third degree
Oh,
joint locks.
joint
So
lock.
when I come up and around, I typically go there.
Right.
So I bring my one foot slightly forward and drop down like that. Not so much to lunge, but
Oh,
I
I
don't
see
know.
what you mean.
So, like if I have this, if I'm here.
If you were to skip that foot out, you would be dropping on that side.
So that's how I've always.
It makes me nervous, the same way it makes me nervous when,
Right, that's what I'm asking.
like this for an Ogaruma. That makes me nervous because you're twisting joints with two people's body weight on them. But I think we're gonna find a common ground in there where we're weightless enough that we can do that. Keep our feet in the right spot and drop straight
When
down.
you're bringing yourself up,
Right,
that's when you actually make the turn. You're not on your weight. Your weight's not on you.
right. I feel that way too.
And here's a question. If I have thrown off balancing right for, let's say, Ogaruma, I should be able to kick exactly as I kick on the ground.
Right. Yep.
And that, I don't know.
Yep. But I think if I'm doing Ogaruma and I'm
Uh-huh.
kicking out here, my weight has to be here, where it would be if my feet were both down. Okay? So I'm not gonna have my foot on the center, even for that throw. My foot's gonna be offset so I can do the kick.
Right.
And come back. So, I guess turning around that center means that we know that when we come in for our throw, we get right on it, we spin, and we drop, or we do our kick, or whatever throw we're doing in this position. It can't be come up here and drop back here.
True.
So,
You don't want to be moving.
I guess I'm back to the drill. The
You
drill
still
doesn't
want
work.
to be turning.
The drill. Which drill?
The one where we're coming up and dropping here.
So that, yeah.
That's
That's,
We're gonna have to come straight up, turn, and drop straight back down.
okay, just one thought. To make the kick, it was originally, the drill was the kick. So you threw and then you chamber. So I'm here, okay, if I start, I chamber, and then I'm back. So I'm back to here and I'm, okay,
Mhm.
so that was,
But even that, you're pivoting around your foot, which means your center is slightly outside of that center.
Put your squares down.
I'm just gonna stick my foot.
It
But-
might be more effective to use a little bit.
Yeah, that's what it's, so if this is my divot. So if I'm here, okay.
My point is, I don't think that well, I don't think the center of your technique is really under the ball of your foot. I think the center of your technique is beside it where it would be if your feet were like this.
I don't think your center can be outside your foot when you're standing on one.
I think it is in the throw. Yeah. I think it is in the throw.
Because when you pick up, when you're standing there, but when you pick up that one foot, you have to shift your weight slightly.
You have
It shifts it back into that foot.
It does, otherwise you're going to be standing on the
Right.
foot. But I'm not sure that, well, I'm not sure that that's true in throwing. Because so much of it is happening on one side of your body. I don't know.
There's our plumb bobble.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's what we're working on, that's what we're thinking about. So I guess we'll have to keep working on that. Can your center be under your foot? That, yes, but then when you put your other foot down, it isn't anymore.
Right.
Yeah. So then the question goes back to what you just asked. Is your center really under your foot when you're doing your throws? Or is it really
Where it was.
where it is if you don't pick a foot up? That's kind of where I am right now. Because we start here, we finish here, but in between, we've shifted our weight to one leg. But I think our true center is where we start and where we end the technique, not halfway through the technique.
So the way to test that, I guess, is to say, okay, get on a solid surface and execute the technique, the kick that you're actually using for that throw, and where's my center to do that kick? It should be the same as when you're doing the throw. And that'll answer, won't that answer the question?
Yeah.
Where's your center? So if you're executing a back kick, the way you would to do that throw, you do it. Take a picture of it, videotape it, whatever, and watch it and say, okay, does my center move this way, that way? Does it stay the same? What's it doing?
And it might even be more specific as to at which point are we talking about our center, because I think that it's true, when I go from here to here, my center's over this foot now. I put it back down, it's in the middle. I pick up this one, it's on this side. But that's why, because you can pick up either foot, I feel like we have to think of the true center as being the one between our feet. That's where I am right now. I think if I pick up to do a back kick here, or if I pick up to do a back kick here, I have to treat that center spot as my center.
So whether you're standing on your 2 feet or have somebody else on that other side that you're lifting, means you have to maintain that center to accomplish it.
That's how I feel about it.
What if we get away from points that are very, and just make it, say it's like a hoop, almost of exactly your body size straight down, and you're rotating inside that.
Probably it's your hips more than
Right, your hip, yeah. So if it's your hip straight down and you're staying inside that, because just those slight changes, you're like, oh, you left your center.
Right, like, oh, I'm out of center, right?
Yeah.
But
so,
no, you're right. If it was, and we talked about that. We talked about
Right.
the circle goes from the outside edge of each foot. You go outside that circle, you're off balance. So no matter how narrow you are, it's still that size of a circle.
Right, so if we're using
Or
more of
one
that
line.
loop
Right.
or that circle, wouldn't that be more, because 1 point is,
And it's your hips because that's where everybody centers their weight anyway, is their hips, not in their shoulders. You center here. In fact, the Salt Lake guys, they say, well, yeah, we do centering. We say center over your hips. In other words, everything's, you don't do this, right? So everybody centers over their hips. And if that's the size of your center, it gives you a little more freedom to move within that circle, shift your weight from one foot to the other, but still be on center.
Yeah, especially like when I talked about double past knee and stuff like that, and all those things being in alignment and stuff. I heard the one guy in the background running the machine on it said, so that's why we do that. Until that point, it never really clicked for him, what they were talking about, and that, that might fit very well for.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Because I can't rectify in my mind that depending on which side I throw on, that's where my center is. My center really needs to be centered, whichever foot I pick up. So maybe that's bigger circle makes more sense.
that bigger circle of your hips straight down would probably get us out of a lot of the arguments over center that
Don't matter as much, right?
much. It's more just a philosophy technical point.
Like how small is your center? The
Right.
end of a pin or the size of your hips, right? So, that's
Well, and the other thing is, think about it, when you're standing there and you have shifted your weight just enough so that you can execute the kick, your center hasn't moved anywhere.
right.
It's staying the same as whether you're standing on your 2 feet or you got some other weight on the other half. You still have to maintain that position
Right.
to be able to, besides that, you're going from stability this way to picking your foot up
Right.
and moving that way, so you've got this fulcrum idea, or this pivoting that's this way versus just regular stability. And so you pick your foot up to execute a kick. You're drawing right up to center and then you move out of center, but because of the fact that you've got them in the right place, they're not taking you out of balance. And so you really are maintaining that balance even though there's going to be a forward bowing movement or a
Right.
back kicking or a
Right.
combination of things.
Yeah, we don't get nitpicky over that.
No,
over
right.
The bowing.
You're just,
So.
it's like there's this thing here that you're balanced on, like a weeble wobble or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I'm very pleased with that. I think that what I'm concerned about is when we do this sort of thing and we think that we're still in center.
Right.
We're far from it.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what
That
we
needs
just
to be
discussed, making the center the size of your hips makes way more sense to me. you can maneuver and manipulate that center.
Yeah,
All over
maintain
the
a lot of
place.
different postures and never get out of center.
Right. And how many, like we talked about earlier today, would be in that center. Good.
Well, again, I think that's where we look at our different stances
Yep.
and begin to identify those and say, wait a minute, this stance fits or don't fit or whatever. The movements that we do to execute a hip throw versus whatever, you know. Are they right? I mean, does it really fit within the principles? You know, are we really staying on center when we use this stance with this stance? The transition moves to get from point A to point B.
Right.
And that's what you've discovered is that, wait a minute, we can't move this way if we stay on center.
Right.
But does center mean that we stay in one spot and spin?
Right.
No,
No, it doesn't. If that was the case,
The fact
we
that
could
you
do
move your
spirit
center over here doesn't mean you're out of balance, does it?
Right.
Used to be here, and I turned or I pivoted. Now I'm over here.
Mhm.
So that's the other, you know.
No, I agree.
We're saying the exercise shouldn't take us out of center, but did it take us out of center, or did we just transition over here and now we moved our
We
center?
moved our center, but what I think is good about JiShin is we don't move our center any more than we have to.
Okay.
We establish the center, we circle, and then we spit the person out on a tangent,
Right.
and that's what makes it JiShin. I think
Yeah.
it's good that way.
Because I think if you're twisting your body like you did, and they're attached to you, like a throw or something like that, it doesn't work instead of you pivoting.
Right.
It's so much more work because now they have to go from here all the way out and around over to here rather than here.
Or you end up
shoot
with
up.
Waiju. That's kind of the difference between Waiju and JiShin Ryu when we were working on them both. The Waiju would do that and throw the person.
Well, the analogy, I guess, that was jumping through my brain is the difference between a revolving door and a door on a hinge.
Right,
When in Waiju, we're using a door, in Aikido, we're using a door on a hinge.
right. That's
We're
right.
opening and closing doors, and we're moving to open and close doors, and just try to keep up with it, because the doors are moving all over the place. Where in JiShin, it would just be the revolving door.
Yep.
That's- yeah.
And you guys can probably see that the Hapkido is that door on a hinge side, right? When you read the first, it's not coming around center like JiShin is to throw them off to the center. So. Good. We still have some club defense to do. Can we move on?
Oh, hey, head back to this. Justin always ends up being a teacher.
I was wondering how we're going to keep it going.
Well, we learned a lot though, because this is how, we don't get together very often, so we don't get to do this, you know.
All right, boys. Beat each other up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to work Mariah goes first off kind of a couple of steps.
Okay, well, you've been that.
And I'm going to do the second level where I do most of the kicking.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Do the judo people hate it when you do that?
Just so much easier than taking a fall.
I fall, you don't have to.
I had you way down here. I'm like, there we go. So Soke, what we're going for in the second degree stuff is almost no hands and almost no bowing.
Yeah.
Just get the kick to do the throw for us. Overruma? I mean,
Are you testing for anything?
yeah. Huh? Uchimata.
Uchimata, okay.
Did that work?
Yeah,
You landed in the right spot.
Round.
How'd it go? Oh, just a little off center. Let's do that again. Had I been centered better, you would have landed.
Yes. I blame you.
Yeah. So the idea is that we keep our posture, we just do the kicking maneuvers to do the throw. Before we were doing one-handed throwing. And the idea was to get away from using the hands and use more feet, but the hands just got in the way. Using one hand instead of two ended up just making it more complicated. So,
The bow techniques, the throwing with the bow is really kind of brings that home. Because when you have to use bow and then after you get rid of the bow,
yeah.
just do the technique now without the bow, and then it's just a one-sided thing, and that's really what you're getting here.
It is. We're just kind of spinning on center and just making
On
the
center and do the leg dropper.
All right.
Yeah, sure.
Back.
Come this way a little, I'm going off the mat. Which one?
Right there.
Oh, you would. Why is it always like this? We're always like, okay, second degree, Mitch will do all the throws that kill me. Thanks, appreciate it.
I could have chosen what you want.
Next to me, like, arm cut down. All right, tie toes. Yep.
Huh?
Yeah.
Ran into you too much.
Yeah, it's too wide a little.
Right, yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Which one?
Uchimata.
Missed.
That was a little weird. Did you miss? Because I'm not sure what happened.
What?
What I wanted was more bending your knee and spring up so that when you do the inside leg, inside thigh, it lifts me.
Yeah.
That
was hard.
Okay.
Well, whatever it was, it spread my legs apart because I actually got some pain in the opposite hips.
Okay.
Right.
Yep. Is this looking good?
Yeah.
Move over in there. Yeah. Do that again with the same thing.
Well, can you go?
Yeah, that's way better. Yep. Anything missed? What do you think? So okay?
Well,
Pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, other than bending the knee a little bit more, or a little bit
Yeah.
less, whatever, I mean, that's really just kind of how you're fitting in when you're doing it, you know?
Yep.
Like, you gotta be there, you know?
I feel like this is a good demonstration of the kicking part of JiShin Ryu. This level is where you do your kick-assisted joint locks too. You know, press and kick for the arm bar and the arm, whatever. And so same level where we do our kicks as the throws. So I feel like it's a good demonstration of that.
yes. It was much more comfortable in that one arm.
Yeah, the one arm stuff was complicated. It's like, well, where do I put my shoulder if I'm not using my arm? It wasn't good. But this is nice. We just turn.
And the fact that you execute the kick, and you're still pretty much, very much on center and in control, and you find, oh, I better put my foot down.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you don't have to drop to catch your center.
Right.
A lot of styles kick and then you see them fall back, or they fall this way or that way because they don't have your control over their center and they're out of balance when they execute the technique.
True.
And this is what proves that your kicks are proper.
I find myself kind of watching you land before I put my foot down. My legs up there, like, okay, he's down.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
One quick question.
Yeah.
Uchimata. Third degree, we do the back kick as a throw. But before that, it's not actually a kick. It's just the squeeze.
It is now.
It is now.
Alana's
Okay.
doing back kick.
Good. That's what I was going to be like.
She's doing replacement step back kick.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I started. We should be doing that instead of
Right. And I think I did a back kick to you today. But what I'm doing is more of a mule kick because I want that extra lift.
Okay.
I'm doing like this.
Okay.
So, kind of a judo application. Judo doesn't walk straight out either. You know, they kind of reach higher. So I'm doing more like, instead of sliding this way, and instead of thrusting back this way, I'm lifting. So I'm doing this mule kick.
Okay.
Yep. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's not a requirement, so.
I love it.
Not sure it's tight, yeah, or rib.
That suits me. I'm happy. If we can get the mats up, these guys can kick if you ask them to.
Can I ask for one more demonstration of one of the jumping ones?
Just so demanding.
I know.
Throw me.
Uh,
Or I can throw you.
I can try. I will do it. I'm just not guaranteeing it will be.
Don't tell us ahead of time what it is, so we'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
I'll do right.
Okay. that one.
Something went right there.
Whoa, 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 that wasn't any better.
We'll edit that out before.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
Let's do that again.
These are the ones that we also do.
I'm not sure exactly what went wrong. I was out of center, but I'm not sure which way. Okay, I still wasn't in center.
That one was better.
It's better, it's not
That's
there yet.
hopping at the end of it, but I'm not sure if that was just you hopping or.
Yeah, I didn't feel out of that.
You guys don't get together often.
I had you way out on my knee for some reason.
Just a hair more turn,
Okay.
I think.
That makes sense, because I wasn't thinking in terms of Jishin's way better. Yep. Way better. Well, I'll do it again.
Well, you held on there and then we'll go.
Obviously, you could do some more. You want to throw me in?
Sure.
That was nice. That was very nice.
I'm so.
Okay. What happened to me though, I came right around your center. Like, it was really nice what happened here.
You're tipping over.
Tipping over.
Yeah, your ears are way past.
Yeah, I'm just going straight down as soon as I come down.
You're trying to bow and do the technique when you don't need to bow. There you go.
Good placement. Very nice. Yeah.
I'll post this video so you guys can watch yourself.
No, thanks.
I can feel how great it looks.
Yeah, never mind. You'll be all right.
Oh, was I supposed to hit record now?
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh.
No one said go. Roll them.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, I guess we got some. Those drills that I'm trying to figure out, I should just do
Well,
them.
that's part of the, yeah, I mean, here you are after 15 years or 17 or whatever it's been, it's like, oh, we have to change what we've been practicing all these years
Yeah.
and modify the movement a little bit. Ultimately, it'll be a big improvement, but
Great. And little reminders for me too, because like, I got up and I turned on my center, but my center wasn't exactly centered on him the first few throws. And then once I got it centered on him, he had to remind me to add some extra twist, a little more Jishin.
yeah.
And then it kept getting better, but that's why we need more of these workouts.
Yeah.
For each other.
Well, there you go. Try working out more. Where are you teaching your
Our frequency of workouts has
Yeah, I
increased
know.
exponentially over this past.
Yeah. Not very often.
Well, when he was in Korea, it really hurt my training.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He didn't know how to get to your house.
Yeah, I heard that from others too. But I ain't there anymore.
No, we were going to Columbus pretty regularly when I was teaching for ITT, because I was teaching.
Well,
down
that's
there,
certainly because,
you know.
I mean, you get paid to go there.
Right.
You know.
For a while, I was getting paid to go to Canton and teach,
Oh, wow.
and so instead of coming home after seeing Jacob for the day, we'd go to Columbus and train on Sunday. And then I was teaching in Columbus, so I got to
Yeah.
train with them. But now I'm not doing any of that,
Well,
so
you do what you can.
and I'm here all the
Timing's
time.
everything. If you ain't got the time, you ain't got the time, you know. Can't be there, you can't be there.
But
I
Rich can
think
get a
we
bunch
should
of
blame it on the really true thing is we're not doing our exercises.
It's really about the
Yeah.
exercise.
Once you get those exercises down, you can cheat a lot. In your off bounce? No.
Awesome. I was just saying Mitch could have like a half dozen students and beat all of them up. And you wouldn't need
That's
each one.
true.
I've
You
had
know, the only
two
reason
people
we
quit
have
on me.
students as successors and stuff is so we can practice. We don't care if they get promoted.
Two or
It's
quit
just
on
better
you.
to let them have a way to practice. Of course, now with having a school, that's a little different, you know. But when you're just having a private workout with a bunch of people in your yard, it's like, hey, you know, yeah, I'll show you how to do some things, but, you know, I would have to practice. You get them far enough on their falls and rolling so you can practice. You know,
If JiShin doesn't lose students because of people being bored in the beginning, because of all the drills and exercises, then we lose them as soon as we hurt them. And it's always it's one or the other. They're bored or they get beat up.
you don't have to record that.
Maybe a crash mat
Let's
would
just
be
go back
keep
to
them
the-
longer.
That's what we do. All right, we'll get Matt's out of the way so good. These guys
Yeah,
can kick
okay,
for you.
cool, great.